Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Conolric.
Strangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today on Slutsk East, we have a really interesting matchup. Who do we got, sir?
Left hand side in the blue, we have jimster Hacks playing 5th Mountain Jaegers, River Vanguard income. Right hand side in red, we have Mimile playing 358th Infantry. Also, well, actually River Maverick income. By getting confused here, people used to go Maverick, but well, jimster decided to go a little bit Vanguard today.
Well, and you can kind of see right now, too, he apparently doesn't think very much of the southern side of the map, but that northern side of the map, ooh boy, lots and lots of equipment being tossed here in the meantime. But Gebirgsjaegers against the 358th, not something I would have seen, in many of my, most desired dreams, but how the heck is it really going to work out? Aren't the Jaegers a little bit too light for this?
Yeah, it's a little bit of infantry spam. I mean, all the ISUs from 358 can prove to be a bit of a pain at long range. So, ideally, jimster does have the better side of the map, having the hill position up north. But I think infantry-wise, it's pretty fair. I mean, up north here, the Stern Pioneers are pushing on through. All the snipers are sniping array, and the infantry support guns are supporting.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing to think that we have recon planes coming in, but somehow that's actually not the one that wins the gunfight.
No, it's like an actual recon plane doing reconnaissance rather than just being a budget close air support aircraft.
Well, you have to admit, of course, this is the Russian everything, so yeah, that kind of makes sense, I suppose. We do have a Pukchin over here that was actually able to pick up a nice little half-track kill already, but one thing about the Pukchin, guys, we have to remember, not that much range when all is said and done. So I'm a little curious to see if that's going to be one of those kind of barraged into, next week's matches sort of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good gun. It's like the snub-nose 88, and especially if the terrain where it's deployed, it can pretty much shut down stuff trying to go up the hill. And this has been a very successful opener so far for jimster, actually breaking through the majority of the northern side. Mimile does have a pretty nasty counter-attack coming, and it's not, well, I guess there's some Panzerfaust infantry so his group are gonna get a bit blown up. Oh no, he's one building array!
Oh, one of them's gonna die. But the other half-track is already out. So, I mean... Oh, wait. Oh, no, that got taken out by the Stern Pioneers.
Damn. Good use of the smoke here.
Really good use of smoke. Honestly, that was a really... I expected a very, very different outcome on that one. Even looking in the center, there's an AB-41 that's going to chase him back to the Strelkies down the hillside here. Snipiri, yeah, kind of causing some hassles here and there. But the issue is, they don't really have the whole Gebirgs Fusilier fleshiness. I mean, Snipiri is just, two lone Soviets, which is oddly ironic when you consider it. You would kind of expect that the Snipiri for the Soviets would be, 10 guys, of course, only 5 rifles.
Yeah.
But, I suppose we have to work with what we have.
Indeed. Budget cuts by 44,
Exactly.
Well, very just successful here. It's kind of a bit hard for Mimile, but at the same time, he does have a lot of light tank spam, and this is a pretty good map for light tank spam. Seeing the T-26 finally getting into position, but there's a Pukchin nearby, and I think the Pukchin can pretty easily penetrate the T-26.
Well, he's got one that was side on in the first place, so definitely looks like that. Now, there was an anti-aircraft piece. Weren't there 2 of them a second ago? I think one of this just kind of went down here, didn't it?
I think so. Down south as well, we actually got a little bit of reconnaissance play. You really don't see people actually trying to make plays down south, but considering how bad things have went up north, is it a very smart play from Mimile to try to pull the leverage from the map, from the steamrolling up north to an area where he can pick his battle.
Well, it's not like he hasn't had, positive kills here. He did go and pick up the 105 that was kind of trundling up the center of the map, which was a very brave, if a little bit, short-lived idea.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm actually kind of more inspired by this crazy push by the Italian Stug brigade up to the northern side. We have 5 of them up there, and there's engaging targets of opportunity. Issue, though, is that we have that T-70 sitting on the downslope of that hill. So while they can support the things north of the river, I would hazard a guess that they're really not going to have that much utility, maybe once they pick up those couple of light tanks at the northern side.
Yeah, jimster's kind of really reached the limit of where he can push on the northern side. Past this point, it gets pretty difficult to get anywhere useful where there's actual flags really too close to the enemy spawn. So really all he can do is just consolidate his current position, which is pretty easy to do. And I'm going to guess once his southern push gets underway. Oh, there's actually a Pack 40 now down south, which could actually shut down his entire push if he was in a bit of a better position.
Maybe that'll change shortly.
There we go, he's moving.
Well, in the meantime, I'm still looking up to the northern side as we just see, again, the Stug brigade taking out those artillery pieces one by one. So, I mean, not too much that I can kind of hate on here. It's like you said, he's kind of hit a limit of how far he can really push. We have this Strife group moving on in, and the T-70 is probably going to take out one guy, maybe? No, we're going to see the Faust instead. Okay.
Oh.
The Stug brigade continues to survive somehow.
Yeah, they've got the big blob. They have like decent enough armor, and there's no real. There we go. An ISU, he definitely needs some of the bigger, longer range guns because he can't really get his light tanks close enough to actually be useful in those CQC fights here. But yeah, so far this has not been a good A phase for Mimile. Fortunately coming into B phase, he does have a big income advantage at least. And okay, I would say it's only a +1 tick, but now it's down to a +2, which is not ideal.
No, generally speaking, you want to lose as little blood as possible. And doesn't matter that, even internal bleeding, that's where the blood's supposed to be, but that's not where your tickets want to be either. So that's kind of a bit of a hassle there. In the meantime, I am really surprised by how well these Italians are doing. This is I know you said that they have decent, really, overall, but Italian tanks in this game are made to be laughing stocks. This is that weird pack mentality where actually they work really, really well.
It's actually, thinking about it, Italian tanks, even back in SD44, the beloved L6s and AB41s, have always been pretty good meta units because they're cost efficient. They're not, the cool, sexy tanks, obviously, but they can deal just enough firepower and have just enough armor on a budget, It's like going. I'm trying to think of like an American example. Here in Canada, we have a grocery store called No Frills, which is like the no brand, like grocery store. I don't know. Could you give the American audience like an American, like example of a really cheap grocery store? Just all the no name crap.
Well, I mean, like there are things like Seatown, for example, that might be something like that. That's it's a grocery store, but I think every single one of the grocery stores down here south of the border, which is weird saying it that way, definitely has like, let's say, the store brand stuff. It's the
yes.
the bowl and basket, the good pantry kind of idea. So yeah,
yeah, that's what these Stugs are.
And you know what? You're absolutely correct. I wasn't even thinking about that. Their accuracy has been, I would say, nearly on point. Most of the T-26s that have been engaging with them, getting maybe one fire, like one or two shots, and they're almost dead immediately. Now we have a 4-pack of flat 20 mils on the northern side, chasing off that. Oh no, killing that recon, that biplane.
Oh damn!
But the funny thing is, they're all there because they have the on-map officer, which is kind of a weird chef's kiss moment, but it's working really, really well for them.
Yeah, and we're seeing jimster actually push on over the river here, which is a pretty ballsy maneuver, but there's not really a whole lot here to stop him. Yeah, Mimile's, the northern flank is really going bad, because he's investing much more down south, and he's getting very close down south to getting into the town, but there's just enough fire support to shut anything down. I think really just a lack of like T-34 star tanks in his safe face is screwing him over because he needs a bit more armored firepower to deal with this Italian span.
Well, we do have a 129 making a gun run over here at the ISU 122. Now, 30 mic might be enough, but it's going to take most of his payload, I would think. Yikes. Okay, well, not quite getting the kill they were hoping for. But that doesn't matter, because everything, kind of that north-central position, is just really going poorly for Mimile. In fact, he's probably going to go 18-6 on this. Because you see this, this is rough.
He's just broken on through here. So it's really gonna come down to down south. At least Okay, yeah, it's actually 2 flags which flipped over, which is not great. The far northern flag at least is pretty easy to control. But yeah, it's just going to come down to some southern plays. And we are in B phase now, so he does have an income advantage. And access to some T-34s, which I think will be quite important.
Well, that was what I was going to kind of make the comment about here, too, is either pick up the T-34s to get some on-map consistent presence, or you really have to start investing in crazy amounts of those S2s. Because the ISU, while it's, an impenetrable wall, comparatively, they can't be everywhere, and they will not be everywhere.
And they shoot 3 rounds a minute, so you gotta really wait for the tanks. So you really gotta hope for the enemy tanks just to stick around to be like, hey, look, it's just gonna be a 20-second reload. Please don't move. I'll give it another volley.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if I can beat you with the amount of shots I can get out of like a Brown Bess musket in that time, that's probably an issue.
Yeah. It's like a really big... Yeah, I would say it's like a really big musket, but now it's breech loaded. I guess, yeah, Churchill Avra is technically like a big musket.
Yeah, that or like a hand mortar, or hand cannon, maybe more accurately. But regardless, one of the things that will not be accurate is this 45 mil in the center part of the map. This actually might put the end to the charge of our Italian light brigade here. The first one has now died. The first of the fearless heroes, the Centaurians of Majesty, have all fallen. And now with 2 T-34s and 2 Razvedkas, yeah, this is the end of the shows for sure.
Yeah, he pushed a little bit too far, yeah. Finally met his match. But we have all these T-34s, and this is a good counter. This is what he needs. But the problem is, Jimster's got into the town territory, and that's going to take a hell of a lot of firepower to root them out now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Funny thing is, he might be able to get a cheeky kill. He'll probably trade out with this T-34. Oh no, it pings off the front armor, but that guy is quite beat up. And just like watching Battle of the Bulge, we are going to probably see 1 or 2 hyper shots given before he gets slain here, especially this guy on the side. No, they're charging over the hilltop. You bullies. You bullies. Yep.
Execution squad.
Absolutely. Not to be outdone, though, the 129's going to come back in here, and I imagine he's going to probably pick on those guys and be like, you know what, you just killed my 5 little brothers. Unfortunately, now he's an only child. But the important thing here is that he's going after those tanks once he can finally see them.
Yeah. We got the infantry now coming on here to try to clear them up, and those Gebirgsjaegers do have a very nasty CQC loadout. G43, CMP40, CMG42. Even the anti-tank grenades can cause a bit of hassle to those tanks as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a pain. Same for the snipers.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to bring up here, too. Is like, yay, great, we have Chernos. Yep, troops that can go and take property. But can they do it without losing everybody? And the answer to that, in my mind, is probably, ooh, wow, geez. Wow. 2 kills on 1 run. And with half and with half of his load, too. That is a pilot and a half.
Yeah. And down south, things have just not been able to go too well here from Mimile. He's managed to get at least 1 flag in the central part of the southern side, but the far southern town has always just been a little bit too far. It's a bit too much in the open. Once again, I think it's this lack of long-range fire support. An ISU-122 would probably be a pretty good pick down here. Kind of use it like usually people use ISUs and King Tigers down south, of just providing long-range fire support and winning those long-range battles.
That's a kind of a good point here. Wait, 1 second. Where's that? Oh, okay. Well, like a G6, that BF-109 is going to go and drop bombs on top of that Slutsk and the Chernos, which is, oof, yeah. That's the end of that attack. But the thing I was going to make the comment about here is when you have the ISU-122, instead of kind of throwing it to the north, why wasn't he more aggressive by putting that initial one, which is now departed, into that central position? Yes, he does have to contend with the occasional PaK-40, but it's already proven that his IL-2s are more than enough to kind of keep them at bay.
Yeah, I think it's more just you're getting deeply attacked up north. You just want to try to plug the gap, so you bring in your heavy tank. And it really didn't manage to, as we see, not get that much value out of it here. Now, this is just Jimster is breaking on through into the central part as well.
Yeah, this has been a very, very kind of shocking opening. First of all, don't...
Effective.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have this blue tide just storming from the north, like that is not what I expected at all. You expect a much more considerable conservative breakout. But Jimster just really playing on that thought process that, you know what, guys? You don't want to touch the south. That's not important right now.
Yeah, and he managed to figure out how to trade very effectively up north, and then actually follow it through. It's a very risky maneuver, but essentially just run him the match already.
I had to kind of be amused by the fact that the IL-2 gets panicked, drops the bombs right in the pickle barrel, takes out two of those IG guns, and then that's yeah, he's dead. He actually died crashing into the 45 mil, but or maybe the BF-109 bombed it. I don't know. Either way, that's a heck of a pilot there too.
Yeah, and we got all the. Well, I shouldn't be too surprised about the Flak 20s doing good. I mean, there's 4 of them together, so it's pretty much a Flak Verlin just spread apart.
A Flak Verlin, but not quite as susceptible to indirect fire. Now, I think we've seen the last throw over here happening on the northern side. There's all these Zachitskis and Kamrotis, and he's got T60 in there, a BA-10. That's good if it was the opening part, but this is B phase, and you are down a significant amount of tickets here, sir.
Yeah, really, his best bet is trying to get into the town, but it's pretty much over in regards to him getting back into the match. I guess it's just one final throw to see whether he can clear out all the Gebirgsjaegers, because they're ready to Gebirgs. He's actually... Oh, he's going to be sainting them a bit. And then one big attack? Or is it... Oh, yeah, he's waiting for the armored vehicles to go in first.
Justifiable, I suppose.
Yeah.
But of course, the 129 is coming back in the other direction to kill that brave, lone T-70. We'll probably see that happen here in just a moment. 105 engaging in the meantime. Gebirg's Fusiliers, they're going to probably go down to the Zachitskis, but not without taking a couple of those Ruskis with them, I imagine.
Unload! Unload!
Yeah, never mind. This is... oof.
Yeah, that was a big L. He needed to press that unload button. That's a big micro mistake.
Yes, it is. And probably Gebirg's Fusiliers are one of the only real recon squads you don't want to get into a fist fight with, and he was squaring up on the line. Real brave.
And the Strelkies are now forced to bugger off, and they just have such a good fire support from the hill, the 105 mil, the Pack 40. I mean, it's such a Gucci position if you fully capture it. Because if you do have 2-kilometer guns, you can shoot into the road before they even get into the town here.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's forcing the unload outside the town when he can, and anybody who comes... Yeah, geez, that Kamrati just dove out and immediately gets murked by a 105. Brilliant opening here. Truly, like, that... I was looking at this even before seeing them kind of deploy on the map, and I was like, ooh, ISUs, that's going to be a big, big issue. And no, it's completely how you neutralize it. Really well done by Jimster.
Yeah, very effective push, very effective trade. Yeah, it's actually pretty standard, like 1,000-ish KD difference.
Which is kind of surprising to me, and actually. But if you look at the kill record, yikes.
Yeah, the IO2 does decent, and that's about it. And then losses, oh yeah.
Well, the Poopchin, when you have a Poopchin that takes out 2 tanks as well as the half-track with the group still in it, that is a very, very valuable Poopchin, since normally they kind of just exist to die. Hetman, though, picking up a nice amount of kills. Yeah, the Stugs, without a doubt, I think probably the greatest positive surprise in this match.
Yeah, the Stugs that we had at home are the Stugs which we needed.
Yeah, exactly. HS-129s not doing too poorly for what they cost. Maybe not the most killy, but I will always remember 129 taking out 2 T-34s and the recon plane in one pass. So well done to him.
Absolute chad of a pilot.
Yes, it's a great way to put it. Any final thoughts, though, sir?
No.
Well, folks, in that case, then, until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.